Headings and a reign of terror tracked to a dead-end tunnel in Syria, detonating a suicide vest as U.S. Special Forces closed in.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward.
The message after the firefight and the DNA test in the field, the commander reportedly saying 100% confirmation, jackpot over. The state of emergency in California, families fleeing fast-moving wildfires, flames on both sides of the road, homes and businesses destroyed, firefighters bracing for fierce winds ahead. The mass shooting manhunt, a college homecoming party turning deadly, a gunman opening fire with a handgun, then slipping away. Also tonight, the disturbing allegations. A flight attendant claiming pilots installed a camera in the bathroom of the airplane and live streamed it to the cockpit. The missing college student, just 19 years old, police locating her car empty but damaged and more than 50 miles away from her home. Her parents' heartfelt plea for information. Married priests, Catholic bishops backing a plan to allow married men be ordained as priests. What will the Pope decide?
Oh my God!
And shark shock. The great white, in a rare moment caught on camera, surfacing, then flipping over, swimming away on her back.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Tom Llamas, and there's a lot of news to get to tonight. We begin with the stunning headline that America woke up to. U.S. Special Forces in Syria taking down the ruthless leader of ISIS. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi founded the Islamic State and launched a global campaign of jihad. He was responsible for gruesome executions, including beheadings. The mission to get him was named after Kayla Mueller, an aid worker kidnapped and killed by ISIS. The operation took place in the dead of night in Syria and was monitored at the White House. The president right there in the Situation Room. The president coming before cameras this morning in a rare Sunday address, calling it a great victory for America. The raid was also a strategic and political victory for the president. ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz takes us inside the raid.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the world's most wanted and brutal terrorist, dead after a daring raid by the elite U.S. Delta Force.
He was the founder and leader of ISIS, the most ruthless and violent terror organization anywhere in the world.
5 p.m. Saturday night, President Trump, flanked by Vice President Pence, National Security Advisor O'Brien, and Defense Secretary Esper, gathering in the Situation Room with military brass, including the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, all watching a live, step-by-step feed of the mission.
We had absolutely perfect, as though you were watching a movie.
8 Chinook helicopters took off on the secret mission from a Kurdish-controlled area in Iraq, flying low and taking on gunfire before landing in northern Syria. Once on the ground, the Special Operations Team blowing holes in the side of Baghdadi's hideout, fearing the front door was booby-trapped. Baghdadi fled into an underground tunnel with 3 children. The president today speaking of the mission in stark detail.
He died after running into a dead-end tunnel, whimpering and crying and screaming all the way.
But before the Special Operations Team could get to him, Baghdadi detonated a suicide vest he was wearing. The 3 children killed alongside him.
His body was mutilated by the blast. The tunnel had caved in on it in addition. But test results gave totally positive identification.
The Delta Force was on the ground for roughly 2 hours in a firefight with Baghdadi's men, killing 2 of his wives who were also wearing suicide vests, although they did not detonate. At 7:15 p.m., the call came into the Situation Room from those on the ground saying 100% confirmation. Jackpot. Over.
We took highly sensitive material and information from the raid, much having to do with ISIS, origins, future plans, things that we very much want.
At one point, the president comparing it to the killing of Osama bin Laden.
This is the biggest there is. This is the worst ever. Osama bin Laden was very big, but Osama bin Laden became big with the World Trade Center. This is a man who built a whole, as he would like to call it, a country.
Baghdadi had been radicalized while imprisoned in Iraq in 2004. Baghdadi rose to international prominence in 2014 after declaring himself head of the caliphate, inspiring barbaric acts of terror, including setting people on fire and beheading shown on social media. Among his thousands of victims, Americans James Foley, Steven Sotloff, Peter Kassig, and Kayla Mueller, who he repeatedly raped before she was killed.
Those men and women that put their lives on the line, we owe them our sincere thanks.
The mission was named in Kayla's honor, bringing an end to Baghdadi's ruthless reign.
He will never again harm another innocent man, woman, or child. He died like a dog. He died like a coward. The world is now a much safer place.
All right, Martha joins us now live. And Martha, we know this raid had been in the works for weeks, but you have some new reporting tonight on the break the CIA got in finding him.
Yeah, Tom, a U.S. official tells ABC that the break came after the arrest and interrogation of one of Baghdadi's wives and a courier. The information they provided was one of the keys in a long trail that eventually led them to Baghdadi's hideout after a lot of hard work by the CIA and Kurdish partners. Tom?
The rat, it's on this story all day. All right, Martha, thank you for that. President Trump kept the news of the raid very close, and he did not give notice to Congress before that televised address. I want to bring in now ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, let's listen to the president's explanation.
Washington leaks like I've never seen before. There's no country in the world that leaks like we do.
The president there explaining his decision, but Cecilia, what should have the protocol have been?
Well, Tom, past protocol has been for presidents to alert top congressional leaders in both parties. That did not happen here, though. The president said he did, however, tell some Republicans, two of them, before he made his announcement today, those Republicans in the Senate. But Democrats, they're not happy. They say Russia got advanced warning about this raid before they did. They got no warning. Now Speaker Nancy Pelosi, she is calling on the White House to brief lawmakers. And take a look. She said in a statement today, the House must be briefed on this raid, which the Russians, but not top congressional leadership, were notified of in advance, and on the administration's overall strategy in the region. Now, on the other hand, one of the president's top Republican allies, Lindsey Graham, who had publicly slammed the president's decision to pull troops out of Syria as the biggest mistake of his presidency, he is now singing the president's praises on this one, Tom, saying that al-Baghdadi's death was a game changer in the war on terror.
Cecilia Vega for us at the White House tonight. Cecilia, thank you. Now to the other major headline tonight, the governor of California declaring a statewide emergency as those potentially historic winds fuel multiple wildfires. One of the newest erupting right there in Vallejo, north of San Francisco, burning up a hill, threatening the homes you see, and families forced to evacuate with fire on both sides of the road. Homes and businesses have already been lost as firefighters battle to save the rest. ABC's Will Reeve tonight on the scene.
Tonight, a statewide emergency in California and two new fires igniting near the Carquinez Bridge northeast of San Francisco.
Those homes are very much in danger right now.
Residents with hoses trying to defend their homes as fire crews rush in. Our Rob Marciano is there.
Look how low he got. This is precision. These choppers have been coming in every 5 minutes. They do not want this fire to cross I-80.
But one fire did. Drivers surrounded by blinding smoke enveloping the roadway.
80, just past the toll plaza here, is closed and they're turning traffic around.
Two firefighters injured battling the blaze. This amid potentially historic fire weather conditions to the north.
So they're working hard to defend this structure. You can see the propane tanks already venting.
In Sonoma County, winds gusting above 90 miles per hour, turbocharging the Kincaid fire's spread through wine country. More than 3,000 firefighters battling the 30,000-acre blaze.
With the winds picking up, the flames are encroaching on this vineyard, the fire snaking all the way up the property.
In Healdsburg, this winery reduced to rubble. Patients evacuated from this Santa Rosa hospital.
Overnight, this house catching fire. As the sun rises, it is completely engulfed. The structure is crumbling.
By daybreak, some 180,000 people ordered to evacuate the county, traffic jamming Highway 101. Tonight, the state's governor says they're deploying every resource available to fight fires. These critical conditions also threatening some 8 million people in Southern California as the work week begins.
And Will Reeve joins us now live from a neighborhood firefighters were actually able to save. And Will, I want to talk about some of the power now, because power has already been cut off to nearly 1 million customers, and there are warnings of even more cuts in the week ahead.
Yeah, Tom, that power is cut to prevent lines from sparking or anything else that might cause a fire. Here in the neighborhood in the town of Windsor, firefighters packing up, the smoke hanging low and thick and pungent. On the front lines, reports of firefighters battling hurricane-force winds, major threats to neighborhoods like this one and the whole region. Tom?
Hurricane-force wind gusts plus those wildfires. All right, Will, thank you for that. The wildfire threat is moving to the southern part of the state. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano is in the fire zone at Chart Hillside there behind him in Vallejo, California. And Rob, what does the threat look like in the days ahead?
Well, we've got more wind coming tonight down to Southern California. As you mentioned, the Chart Hillside here, firefighters able to get a handle on this blaze before it reached any farther south. But we are still under extremely critical fire weather conditions tonight across this area, with low levels of humidity and winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. And then it begins to shift down to the south, as it often does. So Southern California, the hills around Los Angeles and Ventura counties, tomorrow morning extremely critical. So explosive fire growth there if we get anything to spark. This is the backside of these snowstorms that come into Colorado. In Denver in the morning, you could have 4 to 8 inches of snow on the ground. Winter storm warnings there. And another one coming down on Tuesday, which will reinvigorate the Santa Ana winds on Wednesday for Southern California. That could be the strongest event of the season. The rains across the Northeast, well, we'd love to have them here. That's nowhere to be seen. Tom?
No relief in sight. All right, Rob, thank you for that. Now to the homecoming party that turned deadly in Texas. Hundreds celebrating near the Commerce campus of Texas A&M when a gunman showed up firing into the crowd, killing 2 people, injuring a dozen more, then getting away. Tonight, police are asking for help in finding the killer. ABC's Marcus Moore is on the scene in Greenville, Texas.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt underway in Texas. Authorities say a single shooter stormed into a packed party to celebrate the Texas A&M Commerce homecoming, killing 2 and injuring a dozen others. The first shots ringing out just after midnight.
We're going to need multiple units. I've got hundreds of people.
About 750 people, mostly in their late teens and early 20s, were at the party, not affiliated with the university, when authorities say the shooter entered through the back door.
It was complete chaos as people fled for safety and deputies attempted to locate the shooter.
3 officers already on the scene when the gunfire began, responding to parking complaints. Some of the injured cut by glass trying to escape.
We breaking glass out the window trying to get out.
Authorities say some witnesses have not helped in the investigation. Tonight they are pleading with parents to get their kids to come forward.
It appalls me that as many folks that were there have not been able to give us a better description of this shooter. I really beg them to get their children to give us information about this shooter. We need to get him off the street as soon as possible.
And Tom, officials here say that the shooter likely targeted his first victim and then fired randomly after that, and that this crowded party gave him the perfect opportunity to carry out his deadly goal. Tom?
Marcus Moore with a violent night there in Texas. Marcus, thank you. Back to Washington now, where President Trump is celebrating his ISIS victory while the impeachment investigation marches on. His former chief of staff, John Kelly, now revealing the advice he gave the president in order to avoid being impeached. More depositions are scheduled for the week ahead. ABC's David Wright is on Capitol Hill.
Don't surround yourself with yes men. That's the last piece of advice the former White House chief of staff, John Kelly, says he gave President Trump before leaving the White House in January.
Someone has got to be the guy that tells you that, you either have the authority, you don't, or, Mr. President, don't do it because whatever, but don't hire someone that will just, nod and say, it's a great idea, Mr. President, because you will be impeached.
President Trump insists John Kelly never said that. He never said anything like that, adding that he would have thrown him out of the office if he did. This weekend, House impeachment investigators heard from America's top European diplomat. Philip Rieker reportedly said he and others sounded the alarm about what appeared to be a shadow foreign policy for Ukraine serving the president's political interests, only to be shut down by top officials at the State Department.
He's being honest and telling us what he's observed.
His testimony is credible. There's just no